Hello students, good morning students. Now it's time for your accounts class and we started one chapter, that is chapter number 6, issue of shares. And today before starting my topic, I want to discuss the objective why issue of shares knowledge required. So the main objective of the study of issue of share is to provide the proper knowledge of shares, share capital, how to disclose the share capital in the company's balance sheet. In my previous lectures, I already discussed with you number of topics like listing of shares, types of shares, share capital, subscribed capital, premium reserve. So why listing required? It provides. So why listing of shares required? Number 1, to provide liquidity to the securities, to provide a mechanism for effective control and supervision of trading, to mobilize the saving for economic development, ability to raise the further capital. So, for these type of main objectives, listing of the shares of the companies required in the Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange for sale and purchase of securities. Likewise, the main objective behind creating security premium reserve for issuing fully paid bonus shares to the shareholder, for writing of the preliminary expenses of the company, and for purchasing of own shares. So in my yesterday's lecture, I discussed with you one topic, calls in arrears, which simply means amount not received by the company from the shareholder. Now my today's topic is all about the calls in advance. So before starting the meaning of calls in advance, I want to discuss with you one example, simple example for the more better understanding of calls in advance. First of all, with very simple real life example, I will explain you what is calls in advance. Like see, one example. Karan is a student of XYZ college and studying in BCom first year. He wants to pay his college fees. The fee structure of the college is in installments. So have a look on fee structure first of all. BCom first year. Months for installment in a year. Like January till March, 20,000 installment. Each installment of 3 months. April till June 20,000, July till September 25,000 and October till December 26,000. So this one is the college fee structure and Karan is the student of the college XYZ. Now see next. XYZ college demanded the first installment of 20,000. So here college demanded January till March first fee installment 20,000. But Karan paid his second installment of 20,000 along with his first installment of January till March. So in advance Karan paid 20,000 April till June along with the January till March. So Karan paid total amount of 20,000 plus 20,000. 20,000 which is demanded and 20,000 which is not demanded means in advance. So he paid April till June fee structure, fee installment in advance and demanded also January till March. So total 40,000 he paid and here call in advance. Installment in advance is 20,000. Likewise, in case of company also. When demanded one installment, say allotment money, but shareholder paid the demanded installment means allotment money with the amount of next call or calls. So here when a shareholder paid with the allotment money any call like first call or even both call, first or a final call or second call or any call which is yet to be paid. So when the shareholder pay the allotment money and along with
first call and final call considered as call in advance or calls in advance. So with the help of one company's example, see, first of all, call in advance, amount not due but paid by the shareholder in advance. The Decoy Trading Company was registered with the nominal capital of 1 lakh in shares of 10 each. So 1 lakh is the capital amount divided by 10, it means 10,000 shares. Out of which now 9,000 issued. So 10,000 total, 9,000 issued. And what is the criteria for payment? In installment, C, not in lump sum. In installment, first 1 rupee on application, rupees 2 on allotment, rupees 3 on first call, and rupees 4 on final call. Ripzoth, who is the shareholder of the Decoy Trading Company holding 100 shares, paid the first and final call together with the allotment money. So here Ripzoth, one shareholder holding 100 shares, pay the first and final, means both rupees 3 and rupees 4 with allotment of rupees 2. Company yet called allotment money but not calls. So here company only called rupees 2, not 3 and 4 rupees of both calls. And see again what is the criteria here? Rupee 1 on application, rupee 2 on allotment, rupee 3 on first call, and rupee 4 on final call. And the one shareholder Ripzoth holding 100 shares, while payment of allotment paid rupees 3 and rupees 4, but company only called rupees 2 allotment. So Ripzoth paid in advance rupees 2 called, rupees 3 first call plus rupees 4 final call. 4, 5, 6, 7. Total 7 rupees paid in advance on 100 shares. So on 100 shares, 7 plus 2, 9 rupees, 100 multiply 9, 900 total amount. Call in advance, 3 plus 4 is equal to 7 rupees. 7 multiply the person holding 100 shares. So here 700 call in advance. Now reasons for advance. What are the reasons for advance? Number 1, not sure of having money in future. If the person is not sure about having money in future, so he paid in advance. Out of town, so sometime the person is out of town, that's why paid in advance. And third one is will get interest on call in advance. If the person paid the amount in advance to the company, so interest is provided by the company to the shareholder. So for getting interest, the shareholder paid to the company in advance. Also these 3 reasons here: not sure of having money in future, out of town, or third one is interest on calls in advance. Now the main point, accounting entries. What are the accounting entries? Number 1, when the shareholder paid the amount in advance. When the person paid the advance, company receives what comes in, cash comes in, so that's why bank account debited to calls in advance. Here you are receiving the amount, that's why debit what comes in, and credit all incomes and gains. Nowadays when you are receiving in advance is type of income for you and is considered as the liability of the company, current liability. So it is adjusted when the calls becomes due. The entry is when actually on due date you are going to receive the calls money. How to adjust? Calls in advance account debited, because previously you received, now you are not going to receive any amount on those particular shares. To first call or even a final call, whichever is pending. Now the accounting treatment of interest on calls in advance. So what is the interest entry? First of all, have a look. When the interest is paid, when actually the interest is paid by the company, so what goes out? Cash goes out. Interest on calls in advance to bank. Credit what goes out, being interest on call in advance paid. And interest on call in advance, it is a type of expense for the company. So that's why debit all expenses and losses. Here, interest on calls in advance debited. Now the next one is on transfer to statement of profit and loss account. When you transfer the amount here, if it is your expense, so that's why debit all expenses and losses. Statement of profit and loss, your profit decreased just because of interest, that's why here debited to interest on calls in advance, being interest transferred to profit and loss account. So the both are the entries for interest. Now disclosure in the balance sheet. The amount received that is not yet due is a liability of the company. So now if a company received in advance, it is a liability till due date. So on due date, this liability stopped. It is shown in the equity and liabilities under the head current liabilities, under the head other current liabilities. So here in this way, in the balance sheet, equity and liabilities, current liability, and then under subhead other current liabilities. Now with the help of one sum, see, first of all, understand the statement here provided. Raman Limited issues 20,000 shares of ₹10 each at par payable as follows: ₹2.50 on application and the due date 1st May 2009, 2.50 on allotment as on 1st July is your due date. For first call ₹2, due date 1st October, and balance, like balance here, see ₹10 face value, 2.50, total 5 plus 2, 7, 10 minus 7. So here 10 minus 7 is equal to ₹3 is your final call. On 1st February 2010, all these shares were subscribed and amount received. Now two conditions here provided. One, shareholder A who had been allotted 200 shares paid the amount of first and second calls with allotment. So the person 1A holding 200 shares paid the first and second both call in advance along with the allotment, and the second shareholder B holding 100 shares did not pay the final call till the date of the balance sheet. So it means the one person not paid here, case of calls in arrears, and this one is your case of calls in advance. So students, here two cases available, one shareholder A call in advance case and one shareholder B call in arrears case, and the person holding 200 A and 100 shares B. So first entry, firstly received application on 1st May 2009. Journal of Ram Limited debit credit. So here Raman Limited debit credit, date, particulars. So firstly receive application, what comes in cash, bank account 1st May 2009, application 2.50. Bank account, what comes in cash. So bank account debited to share application account 20,000, total number of equity shares multiply 2.50 application money, total 50,000. Now it's time for allotment. 2.50 on allotment payable as on 1st July. It means 1st July is the date of allotment. 1st July allotment date. Firstly, transfer the application money to the share capital account. Application money account debited to share capital account, being the transfer of application money to share capital account upon allotment. So here 50,000 and 50,000. Now next time for allotment due. 1st July share allotment account debited to share capital. Due entry all knows very well. Being allotment money due on 20,000 shares, rupees 2.50. Again 50,000 and 50,000. Now rupees 2 on first call payable on 1st October. So here allotment due date is 1st July. So 1st July so here one shareholder A, holding 200 shares. See, A shareholder who had been allotted 200 shares paid the amount of the first and second call with allotment. So with the time of allotment, the person paid in advance rupees 2 and rupees 3 final call. So total rupees 5 in advance. So bank account to share allotment amount 50,000 transferred. Now 200, A is holding 200 shares. So 200 multiply 5, 1,000 call in advance received. And what is the entry here? Combine entry pass. Bank account 2 calls in advance the entry along with the 2 share allotment account. So total here 50 plus 1,000, 51,000. Now the rupees 2 on first call payable on 1st October 2009. What is the entry here? 1st October share first call account debited to share capital account. 20,000 multiply rupees 2 due here on 1st October due 40,000 and 40,000 being the first call money due. Now one shareholder paid in advance. So 200 holding of shareholder A. So bank account debited call in advance. Now here adjusted, second adjustment entry is calls in advance to share first call account. Here combine entry pass. Bank account you received now 20,000 total number of shares minus 200 you received in advance. Rest with you 19,800 multiply to 39,600 and call in advance you received. See, call in advance 200, shareholder A holding 200 paid 2 rupees in advance. It means 400 in advance paid. So here 400 to share first call account 39,600 plus 400 40,000 total amount. This one is the first call received entry being first call money received and call in advance now adjusted. Here debited and adjusted. Now it's time for your second call. Balance on second call payable on 1st February 2010. 1st February second call due entry share second and final call to share capital account. Total shares 20,000 multiply rupees 3 being the second and final call due. Here your due rupees 3 total 60,000 and 60,000. Now see, shareholder A paid in advance the final, the second call also, and shareholder B holding 100 shares did not pay final call. So here while receiving the final call in advance 200 multiply rupees 3. The holding of A shareholder. So 200 multiplied 3 is 600 in advance, and in arrears 100 holding B shareholder, and not paid rupees 300 not paid. So here entry is call in arrears account debited, and here calls in advance adjusted. And received amount, see working note, 20,000 shares minus 200 in advance received, and minus 100 on 100 rupees not yet under shares not received rupees 3. So with the shares 19,700 multiply 3, 59,100 you are going to receive, and in advance 600, in arrears 300, total amount here is 60,000. Being second and final call received and call in advance adjusted, B a shareholder holding 100 shares fail to pay second and final call money. Now according to the article of association of the company, interest at a rate of 4% per annum is payable by the company on any calls in advance. So here shareholder A holding 200 in advance case. So the company is liable to pay interest to shareholder A in advance case. So the interest was paid by the company to the shareholder on 1st February 2010, past the journal entry. So see the journal entry here. First journal entry, due entry. Interest on call in advance due debited to sundry shareholder members account, being the interest on call in advance credited to the sundry members account. So first of all, see the working note. Interest on calls in advance. Interest on call in advance. Interest on first call money at rate 4% per annum from July. See, first of all, your first call due see here your due date 1st October, but you paid in advance. Means on 1st July you paid. In advance paid, calculate the months here. 1st July 2019 to 1st October, 3 months. So here in advance 3 months you paid in advance. The total months here 3 year pre-year. So 200 equity shares multiply 2 is equal to 2 is the first call. Total 400 in advance. 400 multiply 4 divided by 100 multiply 3 divided by 12 is rupees 4 interest here. Now interest on second call money. So second call money, how to find out? First of all, see due 1st February, but the person paid in advance, that is on 1st July paid. Calculate the months here also. 1st July till 1st February, 7 months. So total 7 months through 203 rupees second call money. Total 600 in advance. 600 multiply 4 divided by 100 multiply 7 divided by 12. So here interest computed here rupees 8. Not 8 here, 14 rupees. So total 14 plus 4 is equal to rupees 18. Total interest rupees 18. Now put the value here, rupees 18, rupees 18. Next Feb 1 entry, when finally paid the interest to the shareholder, sundry members or shareholder account. So here your shareholder name you can write here, like here shareholder A account debited. Likewise here also shareholder A account. If name is given, then write the name of the person. So sundry members or shareholder A debited to bank. Now you paid, so what goes out? Cash. So debit what comes in and credit what goes out. And debit the receiver. Who is the receiver? Shareholder A, receiving rupees 18 interest on calls in advance, being the interest on call in advance paid. Now see your homework, students. Number 1 question, what is meant by call money? State whether will the non-cash transaction be recorded at the time of issue of shares if all cash transactions are entered in the cash book. Third, state the name of the capital which refers to that amount which is stated in the memorandum of association as the capital of the company. Fourth, give any 4 differences between calls in arrears and calls in advance. And also solve the practical problems 24 till 32 along with the related illustrations. And also refer these 2 links for more better understanding of the topic.